Beautiful woman. I'm Kaya,
And I'm Lisa.
and I want to share a bit of a story with you around getting to the point where I'm at breaking point as a busy mother who holds so much, like all of us. Like we're holding so much in our heads, we're holding so much in the world, we're holding so much in our intentions for how we show up as a mother, for all the ways I want to contribute to my kids, all the ways I want to provide for my kids, and all the ways I want to meaningfully bring whatever work, like for me, my work into the world. So whatever work you're bringing into the world, whether that's through a business or through working in a career for somebody else, it doesn't actually matter. You still want to do it well. Like we want to do life well. And I, for quite a while, found myself in this cycle of I would be pushing so hard to get, like, in terms of my relationship with my children, to constantly provide for them, which is especially like as a single mother, like always wanting to do the best I could do for them. So doing everything I could do to make their lives as productive, like to give them the best opportunities I could, and also to connect with them as much as I could. And I'd also really be pushing to making the money that I feel I need for them and for a particular status of success, to feel like I'm being successful out in the world. And I'd be pushing and pushing, and the whole energy would be always pushing out in order to get to some place in the future where it felt a little bit more spacious and where I could relax, and where it was like, okay, I've made it a bit more than I was before. And I'd get to a point where that wasn't sustainable. And for me, I called it my toilet breakdowns, because for some reason it would happen in the toilet. Oh, actually, it makes sense. It's the place where I'm all on my own and no one can see me. I've closed the door. I know when you've got really little kids, sometimes the toilet is not even a place for that.
But you're sitting still.
You're sitting briefly. Still. You're kind of face to face with yourself. Where I would be sitting on the toilet and I would break down in, like, I am not coping. I am totally stressed. I'm not. Hello, Fiona. I'm not. I'm not able to do this. And on one level, and like everybody says this, there's a part of the answer to that is, yes, I need to take more space. Yes, I need to take more breaks. I need to get more help from other people. I need to prioritize rest. All of those things are important.
But when you're in that really overwhelmed space, that's just another thing on the to-do list, frankly. Adding like self-care, or even adding to the to-do list to work out how to get more support can just be like, just keep plowing through it.
I've just got to get all these things that seem so urgent done to get to a spacious place. But I realized that underneath all of that, the most important thing that I was lacking was a real connection with myself. In all of that pushing outwards and all of my kind of reasoning, all of my motivation for doing all that was external to myself. And the more I pushed, the more I was losing touch with who I actually am and what my reasons are for doing what I'm doing. And even back from, like, on the surface level, my reasons for doing what I'm doing, it's pretty easy for it to be, it's for my children. Like, I want to be there for them. And that's so true. Like, they're so important to me. But even underneath that, like, what does that give me? Forgetting that I'm actually, not only am I a valid part of the equation, I'm actually the most important part of the equation. We forget that as mothers and as women in this world. We forget that we're the most important person in the whole situation. And we forget to actually have a relationship with ourselves and tune into, what do I really want? Like, why am I doing all of this? And what does it actually do for me? And in this intense busyness and this pushing, what are the things that I've forgotten about myself? What have I forgotten about what I really love and what lights me up? What kind of cracks me open? What are you gonna?
I was just going to say, it's really easy to leave yourself behind.
Yes.
In the busyness. And when you do that, your life is so chaotic and moving fast, okay? And when you leave yourself behind and leave all the core pieces of yourself out of it, you are at the mercy of your life, of all the tasks that are coming at you, and all the to-do things that you've got to do, and you get swept up in your life, right? When you come back to yourself and remember, well, why am I doing this? What is this for me? Like down the layers, down. You anchor. You create an anchor in your life again. And as soon as you drop anchor in your own life and ground yourself back into yourself, then you become the calm in the center of the storm. And your life, it can still be swirling around you, but in the middle of that, in the center of the storm, it's calm there. It's peaceful. And the way that you do that is by anchoring yourself in your life, like independent of all the craziness. If you do not do that, you will swirl around in the chaotic frenzy that is all the surface stuff going on in your life.
And you'll absolutely, undoubtedly, if you're not just always in the chaos, you'll get to a point like with my toilet breakdowns where you're not coping because you don't have that inner resource that you get when you connect with yourself, when you come back to yourself. Like there's nothing fueling you at all, and you'll lose yourself. You'll lose all energy. You'll lose all capacity to do all the things that you're trying to do.
And I mean, your toilet breakdown can manifest in lots of ways, and a completely different way that you might see it is you just lose your shit at your kids and your partner and your work colleagues. Like you're just like, I can't do this anymore.
You give up.
Yeah, you give up and go, sit. I'm taking the day off. I can't do this. I'm taking the week off. But there'll be something in you that's saying, this is too much. I can't keep doing this the way I'm doing this. And the very first piece to switching that up, and you can do that without adding anything else onto that crazy to-do list, is just take that moment to come back and go, why is this important to me? And it's not the external reasons, like go beyond them. Like Kaya said, a lot of us as mothers, as well as working, bringing forth something into the world, it is valid, it's totally valid that that we do it for our children. We do it for our children. In fact, we do so much of what we do in our entire lives, in so many areas of our lives, we'll say, for our children, which is really valid.
It's very true.
And it's very true.
Yeah.
But that's not what's under that. What does that give you? And what does that give you? And the reason that we say go back to that is because you need to come back to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't do that, then it gets messy. Like if you say, I'm doing this for my kids, and then there's another voice in your head going, it's too much, it's overwhelming, and you're getting like resentful and explosive, and who are you going to blame? Well, I'm doing it for the kids. It's the kids who are making this. Like, it's just an example, but like when you're pushing everything outside and making it, this is why I do it, it's got nothing to do with me, you disempower yourself and you take yourself out of your core and you're no longer anchored or grounded in your life.
Yes. And so the invitation is to not forget that the person who's making all this happen is you. Like you are actually an important part of this. And I know that like on one level you're like, of course, but we actually forget that. We forget that we matter. And what's really important to us and actually honouring ourselves is integral. We need to do that in all the things that we want to do in the world in order to actually be effective and in order to feel that sense of spaciousness while also being productive, while also being effective. we need to connect with ourselves. We need to be in relationship with ourselves. So ask yourself those questions, like, why am I doing all this? And kind of say hello to yourself, like, hello self, like you're actually really important to me, and I want to come home. I want to connect with you, get to know yourself and your reasons.
Put yourself back in the center of your own life.
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all we need to say today.
And if you want to have a conversation with either of us, we have some spaces open for women who are really ready to do this work as a spacious woman, who are busy, who have a lot going on, but who know that they want to do it with a lot more spaciousness, a lot more soulfulness, a lot more connection. We've put a link in the description above. You can reach out to us. We have a booking link, and we would be honoured to connect with you, share this work with you. So we might talk to you then, and we'll talk to you soon in another video either way.